This is a Dragon Blazer production.
Coming soon to a podcast near you.
Hello, welcome to another exciting episode of Coming Soon to a Podcast Near You. I'm, of course, your host, Disney's favorite Blaze, and as always is my co-host, my Disney sidekick like he's Pluto, Xavier.
Calling me a dwarf planet?
I guess that's one way to look at it.
Yeah,
Technically, I was calling...
Just because I'm shorter than you doesn't mean I'm short.
If we're technically, I was referring to you as a cartoon dog, and
That's
not
much
the one
better.
that speaks.
That's much better. Yes. Of course.
So on today's episode, we just went ahead and watched 3 different Disney films. We started watching them. They were a bunch of short stories. We watched Make Mine Music, Fun and Fancy Free, and Melody Time. And pretty much all 3 of these were just a bunch of short, like, cartoons. Each one had a bunch of different cartoons, and none of them was like a full-length feature film. Considered skipping it because they weren't full-length feature films, but we decided to go ahead and watch them, but we watched them all together so we can kind of just get right through them.
Yeah. Also, we should probably point out the wonderful elephant in the room and the fact that that your camera is black and white, which fits very well with the time of this.
Even though none of these are black and white.
Most of the films that were within that time frame were black and white.
Not by the 40s. These are the 40s movies. These are during World War II. Most of the movies were color by this time. That would have been more like maybe when we did what was the other one we did? Oh, Snow White, the first one. First one we did. When we did Snow White, that would have been closer to accurate with it being black and white. But no, these are 40s cartoons, or most shows were actually colored by this time. So that's incorrect. Did you have a personal favorite of these 3 movies?
Among the 3 movies, or the or among the shorts in general?
Both questions. For me, I think both of them is going to be Fun and Fancy Free, only because we got Jack and the Beanstalk and we got Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy, and I mean,
yeah, I think
let's be honest.
I can agree with that.
That was an interesting one too, because we had this real weird, creepy dude doing ventriloquism, and all I could think of is, watching Jeff Dunham, or more likely Slappy from Goosebumps.
Yeah, I won't say that the humor isn't cheesy in this, but it felt like it was ahead of its time more or less. I mean, it was almost 100 years ago. It was around 80 years ago, which isn't almost, but it's up there. These movies are old.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of different shorts, and like I said, the best one I would argue would be just because we got Mickey Mouse and characters we know and love would be Fun and Fancy Free. Was there another cartoon you enjoyed out of these three? Like, I guess they're not, the cartoons aren't bad in these, but was there anything else that you kind of really enjoyed?
I'm not really sure. There were some that stuck out, some that didn't. They're yeah, they're all just like a bunch of little shorts of different varieties. Hmm.
I will say that
I'm not sure.
I do remember some of these movies.
I sure don't.
When I was a kid, I know I've seen Jack and the Beanstalk with Mickey, but I haven't seen this version because this version had the the guy with the ventriloquist dummies telling the story, and the not Geppetto,
Jiminy Cricket.
Jiminy Cricket. It had him like what
Cricker.
listening. So this definitely was a little different because I must have watched it and I looked it up. There's actually they've released this Jack and the Beanstalk with Mickey and the Beanstalk 3 different times. First time was with Fun and Fancy Free. Then they have one that's literally just called Mickey and the Beanstalk. So this isn't the only version of that. This is the first version, however. So I know I've seen that cartoon because I remember the biggest thing I remember from it was not the actual story. I remember Donald and Goofy and Mickey sitting around the table trying to share like one bean each and or cutting it up and everything. I remember that Donald going nuts and everything.
That man, there was some stuff like that. It was funny. Hi cat. Just them going like the narrator just narrating like they're miserable, but they haven't given up, and then Donald just flips out and starts eating the plates.
Which that was some classic Disney right there. So that part I definitely enjoyed. And I remember.
I'm sorry, you didn't have to jump right off my thigh. That hurt, cat.
Oh, jeez. Your cat's a dick.
No, he's a nice kitty. He just seems
most
to
cats
get
are
startled
dicks.
really.
It's not a matter of whether he's nice or not. Most cats are dick, and he's a cat.
Well, that's just racist, man.
He's a kitty cat.
You have admitted to racism on public television.
Probably more like animalism, maybe, but cats aren't a race.
Well, that's double racist. You think you're trying to invalidate my floof. My beautiful little floof.
And he is invalidated. Because
No.
my argument is sound.
He's my buddy. He's my fluffy boy.
He's also not a race still.
I bet he'd beat you in a race.
Probably.
Fast.
And I'm not. Like that's not a. It's not a fair fight. Even if I was 20 years younger, he'd beat me in a race. He's a cat.
Oh, he's such a fluffy boy. I love you. Oh.
And when I call him a dick, I mean that in the most affection. The one animal I kind of like is cats. And it's because they're dicks.
You know, the ironic thing is that we're not that friendly. If we're lonely, we might make it worse. Also, we sleep like 16 hours a day. Have you considered getting a dog?
Nope, I want a buttload of you guys.
Okay, we warned you.
Oh, yeah, we just had to break out into song. You know, that's something we do.
It's a Disney podcast.
I know, I'm not complaining here. That's from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I love Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Good.
You know what? The only thing that would make it, I guess, more keep it Disney, but lesser Disney, is if we sung it in the way it was intended to. We want a fuck ton of you guys. Okay, we were.
I will say, I also remember watching some of the other cartoons, like the Make Mine Music. I remember that cartoon.
Was it Make Mine Music or Make My Music?
I think it was Mine. Make Mine Music. MINE is what it is.
Well, now I'm just confused.
I didn't say it made sense. I said that's what it is. I wasn't trying to argue whether it made sense or not. Anyways, that's
what they all
the picture you have in here with the couple doing the skating, and then the little bunny skating. I've seen that before. I don't know if I've seen all of Make Mine Music, but I think some of these cartoons, they just randomly would air on, like, I've watched some of the House of Mouse. You remember the House of Mouse show? They would randomly
Absolutely not. I've never even heard of that before.
I feel like you're lying.
I don't know what you're talking about. I promise that whoever, whatever.
So you've never heard of House of Mouse? Or
Nope.
the House of Villains?
No.
It was like it was a cartoon that was on Disney, and it was hosted by like Mickey Mouse and a bunch of other characters. And they would just show like a bunch of Disney characters like at like a club or a bar watching these things. It was a cool show. There's one called House of Villains where it was a special. I think it was like a movie special, and in it they had all the villains take over the House of Mouse. I think Pete takes over. Anyways, it was like in the early 2000s, if I remember right. Anyways, they probably showed some of these cartoons on there. Sometimes Disney would just share their cartoons randomly. So I've seen some of these. I also remember the one with the tugboat. What are you doing?
You're not supposed to acknowledge my face, Wander. You're making me embarrassed, Daddy.
Okay.
You're supposed to be so mean to me, Daddy.
Why not?
I hate you, Daddy.
Ow, that kind of hurts.
Oh.
Anywho, but I remember the tugboat cartoon. I know I've seen that when I was younger. I do not remember seeing the bear story.
Oh man,
the other cartoon on Fun and Fancy Free.
Yeah.
I remember I when I was watching the bear story, one of the first things I thought of, I was watching it and I was like, it seemed like the way they were going with that story at first, it seemed like they were going with, you should probably just stay in captivity because it's scary world out here. I was starting to think of the Monk song, It's a Jungle Out Here. Because
confusion and disorder everywhere.
Yeah, so
no one seems to care. Well, I do.
As soon as he escapes the circus, he just like there's a storm and he's like freaking out. And I'm just
a bunch
like
of insects everywhere.
And I'm just thinking, is this story trying to say like, you know what? At least you had a roof and you should feel safer being a slave, which is exactly what he was until he escaped. So I thought they were trying to say it's better off being a slave, and I'm like, man, that's not good messages. So, Turns out that's not what the story was. It turned out to be a love story. The farther you went in, but that's where I thought they were going, and I was like, ooh boy. That's
I have so much to say about that particular story. It was silly in its own ways, but let's start off here. First, you got a bear in captivity. Like, it's all happy-go-lucky bear activities. Like, yay! And then you find out, oh, he's a slave. He is a slave bear. He's a bear being treated like garbage.
Yes.
Then he has a dream of going out into the wild, and then he manages to do that. Which and then the first night comes, and then this little prick over here, this caterpillar, is just chewing like a psychopath. Going, and then more and more stuff happens. A thunderstorm happens, and the wild does suck. But hey, at least in captivity, everything was great. And then suddenly he falls in love with this little girl bear. And then suddenly the entire thing takes a complete left turn when this random bear comes waltzing in, going like, "Hey,
I want
I want that. I don't know. I don't know if she's just short or just a little girl, but I don't care. This is the 40s. This is still a bit normalized grossly, but
it kind of makes me think of like a Ryan George skit. He's like, "Hey there, hello. I see you have this girlfriend, and I think I want it.
I want it.
Give her to me."
She looks like an object.
I decided.
I decided that I want that. I want that. That girl. That, and it's a girl because there's like a pink bow, and everybody knows that.
Does she have like a tutu or like a skirt too?
Maybe, I don't know.
Out in the wild.
I think male bear culture says that male bears cannot have skirts or pink bows. I guess it's just, I don't know.
And I will say that I had to, after watching that, I had to look up to see, like, is there any truth to the fact that bears show affection by, like, slapping each other or, like, hitting each other? And I looked it up, and and the only thing I could find is other people asking the same thing, and then and then somebody responded on the thing that I was looking up. And they're like, yeah, maybe don't get your nature information from a Disney cartoon. And I'm like, look, I'm not saying that, Disney is like my go-to to learning things, but a lot of times they take real situations or like they do a lot of studying. I mean, Saludos Amigos, like all those animations was based on them studying South American culture, so it's like it's not
listen. It's not about teaching you what bears do. It's teaching you that this is what the author of this thinks that everybody should do. I mean, that's how he shows affection to his wife.
Right. So abuse.
Yes.
Okay. So
bears like to show it with a slap.
I'm just saying there could have been some kind of truth to that, but I couldn't find anything. So
yeah, and also the fact that like, this guy, this bear like thinks that this girl is slapping her. Is like, what an unladylike thing to do, and he feels betrayed and walks away. And then out of nowhere, like, these bears start singing. And out of nowhere, these other bears start breaking out into a song. It's like, this little bear, thinks that this girl is just beating the shit out of her. Beating the shit out of him. Let's teach him that this is how bears normally act. Get over here, Martha. I need to give you a quick pop in the nose.
Yeah, it's funny that that's the one we go to, like, what was going on in this cartoon?
Edith, get your ass over here!
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was a good cartoon, but it had a lot of interesting situations and takes, I would say.
I'm pretty sure out of all of them, it's the one that got my attention the most. I
And
mean,
I
yeah,
don't know
the whale story definitely got my attention too, but like this one was definitely interesting.
Oh yeah, the opera whale. Yeah, and then they kill him.
Yeah, it's basically the lesson of that story is, you know, that whale was a miracle. Sometimes humans don't know how to deal with miracles, so they kill them.
Sometimes humans are dicks, just so you know.
Yeah.
The moral of the story that humans are dicks.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, nothing happens to the guy who murdered this whale. You know that I feel like singing whales.
Whale.
Singing whales. I feel like if you murdered a singing whale, wouldn't that count as poaching? If it doesn't, I feel like it should.
I don't know. I'm not sure what the rules on killing singing whales are.
I don't know. I remember this Vsauce video that kind of reminds me of something of that. Like it goes into like if an alien lands in your backyard and you shoot that alien, does it count as like hunting or does it count as murder? Like we don't have alien rights. We have like animal.
You know, I don't know. I've never contemplated that situation before, to be honest with you.
Yeah, apparently Vsauce has, or whoever asked that on the internet.
I guess.
Yeah, it's weird.
Trying to think what the other cartoons were to talk about, but it's just, I don't know. This wasn't I'm glad we watched them all together, because, I mean, right now we watched 3 of them, and we can only think of 2 of them to really talk about.
Yeah, the Johnny Appleseed. I don't think the Johnny Appleseed one was interesting, but I would like to say that I'm not gonna say apples are disgusting because I eat apples all the time.
Apples
They're
are
delicious.
not disgusting.
But why do cartoons like these make apples seem much more like textury,
Delicious.
sweet? They make them taste way better than they actually are.
They make them look delicious. I mean,
Yeah,
but that's in fairness, you're not looking at a real apple. You're looking at someone who portrayed and made like the perfect looking apple. Even if you're like poisonous apple, you know, and a la Snow White.
yeah. Hey kids, I got a little basket of apples here. With this apple, you'll fall madly in love with the guy who just with this prick who just walking through the forest and kisses this supposedly dead woman in the mouth.
That was an interesting one, because I guess I never realized how religious Johnny Appleseed was, because, you know, Johnny Appleseed was a real man. I'd have to look it up to check what his actual real name was.
They said it like twice in the movie.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I'll
I
look
watched
it up.
that like 2 weeks ago. But he was a real man. I didn't realize, like, it is kind of weird watching a Disney cartoon that was as
Jonathan Chapman.
There it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it was interesting watching a Disney cartoon that was as religious as this was, because, you know, Disney films normally, I mean, actually, the number one religious story I can think of is
What?
It would be the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and it's not portrayed in a positive light. Your main villain is I want to say a bishop, or maybe he's just a pastor, who essentially decides that either Esmeralda will be his, and I do mean that in the biblical sense, or he will throw her on a pyre for being a gypsy. Because he's not a fan of gypsies. Unless they look like Esmeralda, and then he's willing to ignore all of his religious teachings so he can have her.
Yeah,
And-
we'll get to that in however many years it takes us to get to that, though.
I'm looking forward. Oh my gosh, that's during the Disney Renaissance, and I am excited because those are some good movies. Hunchback's great. Hercules is one of my favorites.
Isn't the
That's
Little
one of my
Mermaid
favorite
also
movies.
within the Disney
Little
Renaissance?
Mermaid. Yeah. We got the Little Mermaid as well. Just a lot of good ones during the Disney Renaissance. Renaissance.
What the hell, Dad? What the actual hell?
What do you mean? What the hell?
I'm
Asking,
we?
What the hell?
I'm asking. What is the hell? What is the hell that we speak of? But anyways, though.
Technically, the hell that you speak of is the hell that you think of is actually from Dante's Inferno and not talked about in the Bible. So it's very confusing. Yeah, a lot of our portrayal of hell comes from Dante's Inferno that's kind of gotten adopted into biblical culture.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's see. What is there any other cartoons we need to talk about? From the movies we just watched, I mean. Of course.
Right. I mean, there is, of course, the Jack and the Beanstalk one. We haven't really talked about much. I mean, there is the Donald Duck going absolutely insane, which I'll always appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's like, I mean, even ignoring like the whole like ventriloquism scene, the oh my goodness, I always like to ask myself, like, is that little girl still alive today?
No, I do not believe so. I think I looked her up. I do not believe she's still alive. Well, she was what, like 5 during this movie, maybe a little older, and that was in 1949.
She would probably be in her 90s if she was still alive, or 80s. Probably
I think
early
she
90s.
passed away possibly in the 90s. But let's look. That was Fun and Fancy Free, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was 1947.
I can hear the train from your side.
Yeah, that happens. Oh, wow. Yeah, she died in 1996. She was born in 1938, so she was like 9 during this movie. She was also the poor white child in Song of the South. And she died in 96. She was only 57 when she passed away.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah, so like all those people from that ventriloquism scene is probably all dead. So that's some nice Disney magic to talk about.
Oh man. Yeah.
We are talking about something that was like 80 years ago, so.
Right.
And she was the only one that was young enough where it would have made sense that she could have been still alive.
Yeah. That's Shad.
All right, so I guess we need to try to guess each one of these. Well, what would you put as a rating for all three of these?
Like one big rating for all three?
Or just do one each. I'm not
That
sure
would
what the
probably
best
make
option
sense.
is.
That would probably
Yeah.
make sense. Let's start with one and then go with the other. Okay, so let's start with Make Mine Music. I'm gonna go with, I don't know, 61 for audience, and, well,
Are we
61 for critics.
Are we gonna rate them ourselves?
Oh, that's what we're doing. I'm sorry, I mixed it up. For Make Mine Music, what ones did that one have?
Make My Music had the couple in skating,
That was
and
nice.
honestly, I can't tell you any of the other cartoons from that one.
Let me just look it up. Make Mine Music. Cartoons. I had Martins and the Coys.
Oh, the one about the feuding family. That's actually a real feuding family.
Blue Bio.
What? I don't remember that.
All the Cats Join In.
Oh, the cat one oh, that was the one with the that was the one with all the kids that were dancing and stuff.
Without You.
I don't remember that one.
Casey at the Bat.
Okay.
Two Silhouettes. Silhouettes.
Okay.
Peter and the Wolf. After You've Gone. Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet. Oh, that's the one with the hat that you fell asleep at.
Oh. Did I not go back and watch it? I thought I did.
I don't know.
I did.
I remember that it was just a simple love story between a couple of hats, apparently. And then the whale, and then the whale who wanted to sing at the Met.
That's right.
That is the only one that I remember from that.
The only ones I remember is the couple figure skating, but part of that's because I remember watching that one as a kid, and then the whale, and I do remember the cat one. For me, I'm gonna go with I don't think any of them really stand out to me really well, so I'm gonna go with a 4.
I'm gonna go with a 3.
Oh, even lower. All right, well, let's do these by each. So we rated that. So let's do the guess. What do you think Make Mine Music has on Rotten Tomatoes?
Okay, I'm going to say the same. 61 for critics, and let's say 70 for audience.
I'm thinking 52 for critics. Maybe a little higher. Go 67 critics, and I feel like 52 for audience.
Alrighty.
So 58% for critics.
Okay, so that's closer on me.
And 41% for audience.
That would be closer on you. Alrighty.
People didn't care for that one.
Alright, next up would be Fun and Fancy Free.
Fun and Fancy Free.
I think this one deserves a little higher. I'm gonna give it a I'll give it a 4.5, which is, I believe, the same rating I gave Snow White.
So this one pretty much just had the bear, Jiminy Cricket, and the Mickey and the Beanstalk. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with a 5. Well, I went with 4. I'm gonna go 6. I don't think it was that bad. Mickey and the Beanstalk is kind of a classic, even though it's
5 isn't bad, Father. 5 is just normal.
Going with
it's
6.
average. Okay.
Don't try to change my opinion. Now, what about Rotten Tomato?
I will always try to change your opinion. I'm your son. Rotten Tomatoes, I'm gonna guess 75 for critics, and then 63 for audience.
Yeah, I do think this one is higher, so I'm gonna go with 70 for
Okay.
critics and 66 for audience.
Relatively close for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what we have on this one, 67% on critics and 59% for audience.
I'll be closer on me. And
Mhm.
then lastly, melody time. This one I believe had the little boat one, right?
This one had the boat one. Look up the other ones because that's the only one I remember from this one. I know we had some Donald action. Didn't we have Donald and that one bird and
Let's see.
Kuroko? Maybe.
We got Once Upon a Winter Time. I don't know that one. We got Bumble Boogie. I don't remember that one.
I don't remember none of these.
The Legend of Johnny Appleseed.
Oh, okay. I do remember Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah. Little Toot. That was the ship.
That was the ship, yeah.
Yeah. Trees. Just the name was just Trees.
Okay.
Blame It on Samba.
That's the one with Donald and Kuroko.
And Pico Spill.
Oh. Yep, that's the one that had some controversy because he's smoking in it. I do remember the ending of this one.
Okay.
So, rating?
I'll also give this one a 3.
I'll go 5. The Johnny Appleseed was kind of cool. I always like seeing Donald. So Donald gives me some points. And I remember Little Toot, so that kind of brought up nostalgia a little bit in my head. My head thing.
Are you gonna rate based on nostalgia, are you?
I am.
You suck. Okay,
You suck.
For critics, I'm gonna go with let's say a 58. And then audience, 70. 71.
I'm gonna go with 52 for for critics and 45 for audience.
Alrighty.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
75% for critics. It's certified fresh.
Wow.
48% for audience.
Okay, so it's closer on me with the critics, and closer to you on the audience.
Yeah, so that one actually seems to be more well liked than the one with Mickey and the Beanstalk, which kind of surprised me.
Seems like it. Alrighty. With all that, do we want to make one big old set of mantra?
Well, yeah, we're not doing three separate ones, no.
Alrighty. So let's say, let's say you have a girlfriend. Very, yes. Now let's say your girlfriend gets kidnapped by a giant, and you have China on the hotline. What do you do?
China on the hotline?
China. The entire country of China. Girlfriend gets kidnapped by giants, you got China on the hotline. What do you do?
Okay, let me ask. Do I like the girlfriend at this present time in my life?
That's your choice. I mean, girlfriend can mean anything.
Are we doing well at this time, or are we on the verge of breakup? Like, details matter.
For all you know, this could be a Bowser situation and they're hooking up.
Peaches, 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 peaches. I love you.
I thought you told me I shouldn't scream.
I wasn't screaming, that was singing loudly.
Okay.
Anywho, I don't know what I do. I'm not a hostage negotiator. I have not been trained properly in this situation.
Well, all you know is that your girlfriend has been kidnapped by giants, and you have a phone over there. You dial the entire country of China.
They might be giants?
They are giants. They don't just might be giants. They are mighty giants. They're even greater than that in the group.
Giant.
They're really good at acoustic guitars.
So giant Chinese men, huh?
No, you have China on the hotline to do what you want them to do. About the giants who have kidnapped your girlfriend.
Why am I calling China for this? Like, do we have good relations with China, apparently? Just me?
I don't know. You have China, the entire country, on the hotline. It doesn't matter if you're best friends. It doesn't matter if you have money to throw at them. It matters that you have a phone that can call China about the girlfriend who just got kidnapped by some giants.
Look, China. Okay. First off, I want to apologize for our former president calling you China and saying all those mean tweets about you. So that's my first apology. I apologize for him. I didn't vote for him. He was kind of a dick. My bad. Now, I have this girl. You know this girl? I'm dating her. I really love her. And I need help to save this girl. And, China, you are my only hope. I need you to help me. Maybe you've got some hidden weapons of mass destruction. That would be a great help. If you could just blow some shit up, I would greatly appreciate it. These giants are dicks. They took my girlfriend. If you could just blow them up, that'd be swell. Thanks, okay. China.
I'm gonna give you a 10 out of 10. That was a great apology YouTube video for everybody here. Probably the greatest apology video in all of apology video YouTube history.
Nobody's ever made a better apology video than me. Anyways.
Also, keep in mind that you just went full political on the internet. Now, everybody, your family,
It's not
your
the
friends.
first time. Nobody listens to this. It's fine.
Well, I'm sure sometimes your siblings might listen and they find out, whoa,
No.
Steven hates Trump?
It's not a secret in my family. I have not been quiet about my opinion on Trump, okay?
Alright, yeah.
At all.
Yeah. It's honestly a shock he's not in prison already.
He's on his way.
Hope so. Whatever. Moving on.
All
from
I gotta
that,
say,
though.
all I gotta
Moving on-
say is peaches, 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 peaches. I love you. Thank you, thank you.
So, as of the
here
result
all
of
week.
your Cinemantras, the entire country of China just decides to go like, okay, and it lifts up off the Earth's surface, and then hurls itself at the giant's layers, and then
Of
it goes
course
back
I-
to where it was before.
Of
Only
course,
upside down.
I did sort of forget one minor detail.
What?
I asked them to use weapons of mass destruction, and my girlfriend is still with the Giants, so I may not have thought that through very well.
It's fine. You still have them on the hotline, but I guess the entire country of China, as in the entire landscape itself, could be used as a weapon of mass destruction. If we learn how to lift entire countries off the air, at least. Anyway, do you have a Cinemantra for me?
Oh yeah, I suppose I should come up with something, huh? So these movies. If you were captured for a circus, what would you be doing? Like, what would be your skill in the circus?
What would be my skill?
Like, circus skills. I know what your real skills are. I want your circus skill. Would you be the tightrope walker? Would you be the lion tamer? Would you be? I feel like you would be the lion tamer. You really like your pets.
I do like my pets. I think I would be the unofficial turning off and on the lights to create a horror scene within the circus. Because no matter what, that is a skill that has to do with circuses. When it comes to like horror films, you see like and this is unofficial too. So you don't know if like there's a horror movie going on. Like I could be over here without like any camera crew or whatever, and then just like figure out how can I make the perfect murder scene, which of course would involve some clown murder and non-clown murder.
All right, so I
And
actually
also
am
bombs.
surprised. I'm actually surprised you didn't bypass my thing. Like at first, I was worried about you saying like, you know, being an artist. I'm like, that's not really a circus job, but it actually could be. So all you would have had to say for artists to make sense is you're the one that draws the posters advertising the circus.
That would make too much sense for this. I'm not here to like flaunt my art skills. I have channels for that. I'm here to talk to a camera along with my dad, which makes next to no views. But we're here to have fun. So I create a murder scene within this circus tent.
Okay.
I create some metal bars that make it difficult to climb up because they'll be jagged around the perimeter of the tent, and then bombs inside the tent.
Bombs inside the tent.
Jagged metal surrounding the tent. Kill the
Uh-huh,
clowns.
uh-huh.
Kill the non-clowns.
Okay, of course.
Create a murder scene. It'll be the perfect murder scene.
So I thought my daughter was the one that would have been doing stuff like that, not you. This is quite surprising. She's the one that's super into the horror and murder.
Well, this isn't. Well, that's why I said there's not going to be a camera crew, though. This is an unofficial thing. I'm creating an actual horror scenario for these people because circus is about enjoyment and about entertainment. This will be so very entertaining for me,
Okay.
but entertaining nonetheless.
Fair enough. Well, is there anything else you need to say about these 3 movies?
Not necessarily, but what I want to know though is like what's coming next, because we're really close to October, and we should probably figure out when we're doing like the 3 Halloween movies, or if there's going to be 3
I think
Halloween
we start
movies.
to. I say we start. The next time we do it, it will be October.
Yeah,
So I say I say the next one should be a Halloween movie.
right. We should probably do that really soon though, so that we stick to like the every other week.
Let's see here.
So what 3 Halloween movies do we want to do this year?
I don't know.
I believe one of them should be Child's Play 2.
You want to do Child's Play 2?
Yeah, because last year we did the first Child's Play. We should do, for this year, we should do Child's Play 2.
I have mixed feelings on that. Part of me would obviously love to do Child's Play 2 because, I love me some Child's Play. The other part of me would rather get you to watch a different horror franchise. Like, instead of just trying to do the sequels of one franchise, which would take us many years because we only seem to watch them on the holidays or
There
Halloween.
you have it, folks. Father would love himself some Child's Play.
Not sure I like the way you're presenting that, but I think we should maybe
Eyes
do
wide open.
like if we go by my favorites. I think we should go with something like Nightmare on Elm Street next, or we could go with a more classic like Halloween. We could do Halloween. We could do.
I think we should do a horror movie, a thriller movie, and just a classic Halloween-y kind of movie. Maybe Charlie Brown, the Great Pumpkin. I mean, it's not necessarily a movie, but I think that would definitely fit. I think it would fit.
I don't hate the idea of doing It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. There's only one thing about that one.
What?
Is it available to stream?
I don't know. We'll have to figure that one out.
I just don't know. It could be, but I've never looked. So we'll have to look at that. But if we can find that one to stream, I'm down. I'm down for the It's a Great Pumpkin.
Alrighty then.
So you want to do It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, a horror franchise, or a killer, and a thriller?
A thriller, yes. Like The Shining.
Shining's still kind of horror-ish. Yeah.
When I presented that as a horror movie to you guys, you called it a thriller.
Fair enough.
And then we ended up watching The Thing, which I don't hate. I did not
I like
hate
The
that.
Thing.
It was a
good one.
thingy. It was a thingy movie.
It was a thingy movie.
Yeah. All right, so I feel like
I
this
didn't hate
next
that
one
because
because
I'd never watched it either. That was my first time watching The Thing as well.
I want to watch this movie within like the next like our first Halloween movie within like the next 2 days or so that we can record like this weekend so that we can fit it within this week because like this is a bit delayed. Is that fine with you?
Maybe we'll be able to try to get it recorded for October 1st, the first day of the month of the Halloweens.
Right, that would be this weekend, which would be on Sunday, so that would still work.
If I can make it work.
All right, so we've got Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. If we can do that, we got The Shining, our horror movie. You said we want to fit within a different kind of thing. What kind of thing? Daddy Ho.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Which one do we want to do next? Do we want to do The Shining? Do you have access to The Shining?
I don't know. I say we look around for... I mean, it doesn't have to be The Shining as a thriller.
Right. I know. But I like The Shining. It's famous enough that it would do good for our podcast.
I see.
I know you want to introduce us to some movies, but I like The Shining. It is a good movie.
I guess I haven't seen it in years. I just would like to look around before we make a decision.
That's fair. Alrighty then.
I do, however, like the idea of a Great Pumpkin. I think that is a classic and worth exploring.
Okay. Do we want to do that next if we're able to then? And then like you can tell me if you're not able to find it anywhere or whatever.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna look as soon as we get off here.
Right. Well, we'll figure this stuff out, man. Okie doke. Love you, Dad.
Love you, son. I mean, we should probably end the podcast first.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
We're still talking.
Yeah.
You can find me at Dragon Blazer Productions on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and the TikToks, and you can also find me at Dragon Blazer Pro on the X for the short time.
Alrighty. I am Cryokin Artist on the Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Also the DeviantArt. I'm also Snowshine Gaming on the YouTube. And my Cryokin Artist channel, we've been starting to do some D&D with, of course, Father, but also some of my friends.
Friends. We have friends?
We definitely have friends.
Oh.
Friends.
I have friends. I definitely have friends. Friends. Friendly friends. Look at all my friends.
Peace.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh, once again, please, if you will, like and subscribe onto our YouTube page titled Coming Soon to a Podcast Near You, where all these wacky podcasts where we watch movies and review them go on. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.